Give me a sign. Now is the time.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Boomband Showcase. I'm your host, Jeff Taylor. We got a great set of guests today. I can't wait to jump right in. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to the Boomband Showcase. This is such a fun thing for me to do. There's so much noise in the marketplace right now. It is so difficult to get a job. The queue is getting longer. And what I was dreaming about when we were coming up with the concept for this podcast was, how can we help people be human and stand out and kind of get above the digital noise? So I want to welcome each of you to the podcast. And Madison, I'm always jealous because you get to talk to everybody. You want to just do a quick introduction of everyone.
All right. Well, we have three amazing players today. We have Erin Kennedy, and she's joining us from Virginia, and she is a senior editor and web producer. We also have Lisa Anderson. Lisa is in Massachusetts, and she is an HR business partner. And finally, we have Amy English, data analyst. She was in New Hampshire, but as of February of this year, she and her family just relocated to South Carolina. So we are very happy to have you three ladies here. Welcome to the showcase, and we're going to have a lot of fun today.
Right. So concept of the show, I'm going to host. I don't know what that means, but we're going to kind of move the conversation along. Madison is our sidekick for the show. She's also a key Boomband employee. And she kind of raised her hand and said, I would love to do this, partner, and maybe I could call each of the guests. And so we work that into our plan. And then we have a mystery guest with us today. We do this on every show. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
And she is going to come in and share her background, and we'll introduce you to her in the end after we've taken each of you out to a breakout room. And so to get us started, get you talking, I have a couple questions that we typically start with. And one is about your superpower, and one is that one word that describes either where you are in your process of looking for a job or that feeling that you have in looking. And so, Lisa, why don't I start with you on what's that one word you would use to describe it?
My job search depends upon the day. Sometimes it feels soul crushing. Other times it feels extremely dynamic. It is like a job search I've never had before. The economy is different. The industry is different. And I think AI is taking front and center stage in pretty much every role and industry, that people really need to be cognizant of it.
Yeah. And do you find you have to start every day with the idea of, okay, it's going to be dynamic today?
Yeah, pretty much. And, realize that there are going to be some days where it's a little soul crushing, where you think you're really, really close to a role, and then you either get ghosted or you don't get picked or whatever. So I just think that there's definitely days where, you have to just kind of pick yourself back up and move on to the next day.
Yeah. So I'm going to turn it into soul dynamics.
Okay, there you go.
All right, Erin. Sorry.
I would say uncertainty is my word. I have never been laid off before, so I feel like a naive little deer, like somewhere in the woods, and I don't realize that I'm about to be eaten by a wolf. So I just got pushed off into LinkedIn, which is its own special little hellscape. So I'm learning a lot very quickly. I don't know how much of what I'm learning is useful. So I just feel like there's just a lot of uncertainty going on. Like Lisa said, one day I'm like, I am crushing it. And the next day I might just be like, maybe I'll just live in a van down by the river. I don't know. So there's a lot going on.
Right. Do you have a van?
I don't.
Okay. That'd be tough.
Van.
You'd have to buy a van. You'd have to find a river. I think we can find you a job. That's
Yeah.
My boyfriend actually has a decommissioned ambulance that he's turning into a van house. So there's always plan B, or let's not go there. I don't really want to.
Let's go to plan A or B first.
Yeah.
So you're going to go live in an ambulance van house. maybe you just need a different kind of job for that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But you still have to restore it. You have to give it some
Yes.
future comfort. So that's where we are. All right, Amy.
Yeah, I have to agree with both Lisa and Erin. There's definitely those highs and lows every day. I'm about a month into my job search, so just trying to figure out LinkedIn. Have noticed I've applied to a lot of jobs, haven't really heard much back. So I am taking this time to really reflect on what I love doing in my past roles. Also trying to figure out, just looking at all the different jobs that are out there, what I need to upskill in. So I'm taking some training courses. So taking the time to do that. The other thing that I'm thinking about is just getting out of my house and meeting people. So I'm getting down to Charleston. I'm joining some forums, some groups, went to a Disrupt HR meeting, and just getting out of my comfort zone and meeting people. And it's been very helpful. But my word with all that, I would say, is redefining.
Cool. So a couple things. Talking to one of the other guests that was on the show, they had taken about 8 certification classes. None of those were on their resume. So one of the things that I find is that the resume somehow gets stuck, but you're starting to move. And, part of that kind of reinventing yourself, make sure that your resume keeps up with your reinvention almost real time, right? And that's sort of hard to do. And when you think about it, and your LinkedIn profile, soon your Boomband dossier. But for now, updating any certifications you have. And I just spoke at Disrupt HR just for crazies, 20 slides in 5 minutes. Every 15 seconds, the slide changes. I can't say hello in 5 minutes. Very challenging, but also extremely rewarding. And it was full of HR practitioners. So a great place to network. Highly recommend Disrupt HR for the watching speakers that can normally do it, like struggle because of this format. I think that's entertaining, but also a great networking opportunity. The way it's set up, you can meet lots of people afterwards. So, okay, I think there's some themes that are being kind of woven through this. Let me go to our mystery guest. What are your thoughts just from hearing from everyone?
Yeah, well, my first thought was, how could we make this a little bit more fun for you all? I hear these terms, the soul crushing, the uncertainty, the highs, the lows. I really love that last word, that idea of redefining, especially as it relates to Jeff's point when we think about what we put on our resume versus what we put in LinkedIn, and the opportunity to kind of redefine yourself and showcase yourself at LinkedIn, or on LinkedIn. And how could you have a little bit more fun with that, and in a way that actually supports you creating what you want in your job search?
Yeah. This idea of reinvention, in trying to find the joy in it. And I know this is challenging, right? But every day when you get up and you say, this is going to be the day that is going to be, it's going to be uncertain, but it's going to be extremely dynamic and kind of being ready for it. Lisa, you and I,
You're crushing the day instead of it being soul crushing. You're crushing the day.
Lisa and I were at a reunion together the other night. She's a monster, which is actually very cool. And one of the interesting things we were talking about is, how do you rewrite your narrative almost on a daily basis? Let's just say you got very close to an offer and then you didn't get it. And there's this wave of disappointment, and it's hard to actually course correct then to go right into that next kind of dynamic, challenging day. And so how do you keep rewriting that narrative? I know this is going to work. I just got to put the time in. I'm not going to live in that van. We're going to make this happen. And so just to always be thinking about the positive side of it. And I tell you, it sounds so cliche, but I think it's that reset that really gives you that shot each day at getting to that next job. I'm going to come back to you, Erin, now on a superpower. And this is where we start finding the joy in it. So where does that power come from for you?
I would say my superpower is cat herding. I'm really
Not,
good at
not dog herding, cat herding, right?
no, because like dogs herd things. Dogs pay attention when you tell them to do something. Cats,
Right,
I don't think so.
right.
As someone who owns two cats and they're currently locked out of my office and very mad about it.
Ah,
Um, yeah, so my superpower is cat herding. I'm an editor and a publisher. There's always a lot happening from like pitching, signing, editing, publication. There's like a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of people involved. There's so much going on at once. And my superpower is making sure that it all gets done and that it's done on time and that it's done clean. Like whatever we publish, we are all proud to put our names behind it.
yeah. It's funny when you talk about being a senior editor. I don't think about cat herding. I wonder if, very high up in your summary, it could talk about that a big part of this is coordinating people and kind of like express that strength. As a web producer, I think that's also true. I want to get a little bit more into that. On the break, please invite your cats. I don't want them upset. And I love the idea of how somebody navigates cats in front of their screen. I think it's good. So feel free because, we're a home show here. We're welcome to it. So, Amy, let me come to you. Superpower.
Superpower. Okay. Just thinking back again, ever since I started as a business analyst and then started learning about data analytics and then got into customer success. And I think one thing that I'm really good at is being able to speak both languages. So I'm able to speak the business side and understand the tech side. So maybe like a business and tech translator is my superpower.
Mm-hmm. It seems like analytics kind of crept into your job as time went on. And were you always a data person? Like, how did that happen?
No, I was a biology major. I was going to go to veterinary school. But then I got into HR and just saw my manager was using reporting tools and I was over her shoulder and I'm just fascinated by it and really felt passionate about being able to dive into the data and figure things out and pull insights from the data and support the business. So went to classes, learned SQL, started getting into BI tools, and that's been my passion ever since.
Yeah, great. All right, we're going to talk more. Lisa, superpower.
I think that I would say that my superpower is resilience. I try to stay strong, yet gentle. I do my best at showing up with love, even when life is heavy. And man, it's been heavy for a while for me. Over the years through caregiving, unemployment, grief, rebuilding, I've learned that I can bend without breaking. I'm grateful for that strength, even if I'm still figuring it all out. I have a quote on my emails that say, "You can't calm the storm, so stop trying. Trying. What you can do is calm yourself. The storm will pass." And that has been a quote on my email for years and years. And, like you talked about, that soul crushing, you don't get a job and, how do you not ruminate about that? My motto is like everything will work out as it should. And you'll find the silver lining at some point. You don't know what it is right now, but you'll find it.
Yeah. So kind of that push through. Mr. Guest, any thoughts?
Yeah, I love that, especially for someone that's in your profession with so much that's going on. I appreciate how you can tap into your own resilience, and I'm curious, what's your go-to way of doing that? How do you nourish yourself
Oh
and stay
gosh, I
resilient?
probably don't do it as well as I should. But it's really about just finding those things that ground me. It's, spending some time with my dogs, getting out for a drive, having a talk with my teenager who, is such a different point of view of the world. And he's so funny. And so humor, sometimes dark humor, but lots of humor.
Yeah. How old is your
Love
son?
that.
17.
Yeah. I've got a 14-year-old in the house, and I know that humor is, well, sometimes not funny, but it's so funny because
It's hard sometimes.
even their delivery makes it funny, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I also have a 14-year-old son, so I know what you're
Yeah.
speaking to, Jeff.
Like, it's great. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I
Right.
think kids are, to some extent, there are few moments in your life where you actually get that like spectacular miracle, right? And
Mhm.
I always reminding myself with my 14-year-old son, it is a miracle that I have him, because they test you in every which way, right?
Wow,
And,
gosh.
and to some extent, the job market is testing us in this
Yeah.
way as well. I didn't mean to like make that terrible crossover, but I think it's sort of like a 14-year-old boy, right? Like sometimes it just goes with the flow, and other times it's just not participating. And how do you
Right.
so
Exactly.
so this is the spot in the show where I really want to get to know each of you more. And so what I'm going to do is with Madison, with our mystery guest, we're going to take each of you into this mysterious other room, right? The breakout session. And the idea here is we're going to talk a little bit about your background and have some fun. And then I'm going to have each of you tag out. So Erin first, you'll come in, you'll tag, what did I say? Lisa. And then Lisa, you'll tag Amy. And then we'll meet back at the end. We'll meet our mystery guest. And we'll talk about that it wasn't so scary, and kind of what are our next kind of best plays and plans to help get you guys jobs. So we'll see you in the breakout room. Welcome to the breakout session. How you doing, Erin?
How are you?
So we letting the cats in? Is that the plan?
Yeah, one is just sort of like pawing around the door, like just
All
trying to
right.
tell.
All right. What's going on? Okay. So here's our goal here. Madison and you have had a chat. She's going to share your background, and then we'll get into it.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, Erin, it was so great chatting with you this week. So this is a little bit of what I've learned. You're a dynamic senior editor and web producer who fell in love with the craft back in high school. After an internship at the Detroit Free Press, you took off, ultimately spending 13 years at one company where you rose through the ranks and mastered every editorial role put in front of you. Your experience sits primarily in financial media to date, but however, your operational skills are industry agnostic, sharpened by years of building systems, mentoring writers, managing CMS workflows, and elevating every story with accuracy, voice, and impact. You were born in Michigan, and you are still a diehard University of Michigan fan. You even have the sneakers to prove it. You've also lived in Chile, Brazil, Taiwan, and Sweden, which really brings a whole broad worldview for adaptability to every team that you're on. You're a passionate cook and baker who gets the love of the kitchen from your mom, who bakes 3,000 to 4,000 Christmas cookies every year. Erin is the behind the scenes force who transforms complex topics into clear, trusted, SEO smart content. When you join a team, everything gets sharper, faster, smarter, and undeniably better. And you also might bring some people some Christmas cookies. So it's a win-win. But truly, Erin, it was great getting to know you. Welcome to the breakout session, and I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
What's she not sharing? I'm interested in that international piece, for example. Yeah.
So my dad worked for GM for his entire life. And when I was about a year old, our family moved to Chile. And I learned English and Spanish at the same time, actually. And then we moved to Brazil, so I learned like a tiny bit of Portuguese because we weren't there very long. Taiwan, where I learned very little Mandarin because it's really hard. Sweden, I learned very little Swedish because everyone there speaks English. And if you try to speak Swedish, they're like, oh, you're a sad American trying to do Swedish. It's okay, we'll just switch for you. So that was always kind of like being put in your place, but like politely. So yeah, I grew up, I was there until 7th grade.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
And then back in the States after that?
Yeah, we moved back to Michigan, and I ended up going to the University of Michigan. And then I moved to Virginia for my first editing job.
What did you study?
I studied history.
Yeah, I wrote that here. It's interesting that your liberal arts, kind of major, I think, has been a challenge for the last 10 or 15 years. It's like, okay, what skills can you apply? And if you're a history major, then there's like, okay, well, what do I do with this degree, right? And so how did you find editing?
Well, so that's the thing is when you say you're getting a history degree, everyone assumes like, oh, so you're going to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not. And oh, so you're going to be a teacher? And I said, no, actually,
No,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
doing that either.
Right.
Um, so the assumption was that I should have gotten, an English degree or a journalism degree even, but those things actually didn't interest me in and of themselves that much. History interests me.
Yep.
So I just sort of learned about what I wanted to learn about, what I wanted to learn about, while still maintaining my skills with editing.
Tell me about SEO. That was in the definition of your background. Are you doing research around AI and thinking about kind of the evolution of SEO and that maybe that's not working quite as well?
For sure. Oh gosh, no, this is not like a topic for this podcast because I could just go and go. We
Oh,
could start a whole
highlight.
other podcast
When you talk about
about Erin
AEO or
Kennedy's.
GEO, just give me a little highlight because I think people would be interested.
I don't think we don't have time for this. Um, the landscape has changed so much just in between now and last year.
Yeah.
With the big search engine rolling out new and different algorithms.
Yeah.
So it's very different in the publishing industry now, even from a year ago. And obviously it keeps evolving. Um, Even for me, like personally, and I have no shame in saying this, but like um I got my first editing job in Virginia with The Motley Fool, like entirely happenstance. Like it's not like I was like, oh, you know what I want to do? I want to write or I want to edit stories about tax loss harvesting. Like that sounds cool and sexy.
Mm.
Like no one's like, I want to edit stuff about 401ks.
Uh-huh.
So it just sort of like ended up happening that ended up being kind of like very financial media focused.
Uh-huh.
And now actually I really love it. But so I think SEO, I will keep it succinct. I think AI is one of those things where I think it can do a lot of stuff.
Mm.
I don't think it can do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think people want it. I think some people want it to do everything. Um, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a magic wand. I've worked with both in-house and um, white label AI tools,
Mm.
and sometimes it just says things that aren't true.
Yeah. Yeah, that hallucination. I had a situation recently where I couldn't remember who spoke at one of my events, and I asked ChatGPT, "Can you go look this up for me?" And it actually made up the person. And I was like, "No, that isn't the person, right?" And so you really do have to double check your work. Let's talk a little bit about as you're looking for jobs. Are you feeling the pressure of AI kind of reinventing the process that you're going through and the kinds of jobs you're looking at?
The only thing that worries me a little bit is sort of the automation being added to the process more and more. Um, my record for rejection time is 4 hours and 8 minutes. So like not even a business day. And like, come on, at least pretend you read my cover letter. Anyway, um, my feeling like for that is if you actually like lined up, if you like went from end to end of the 50 plus jobs that I applied to,
Uh-huh.
like looking at them, you'd be like, what is this lady on? Because if you look at them just as a bunch, they don't look entirely uh it doesn't seem obvious how they're related.
Not cohesive,
Right.
different
It doesn't
kinds
seem,
of opportunities,
yeah, different opportunities, even different industries. But the
right?
thing is like I have my skills are transferable. So like one of the things I applied for was an online car auction website editor, which is quite a niche. But I'm an editor. I've also sold and bought a car online.
Right. And have an
So,
ambulance in the background there.
Yes.
right. So, like,
Right.
I've applied to stuff like that. I applied to uh, Le Creuset because they wanted someone to write copy and check SKUs for their SKUs for their like partner websites, and that requires a lot of detail work. And as an editor, I do a lot of detail work. So
Yeah.
like I'm trying to figure out how like my skills how skill A can work for like options B and C.
Yeah. So a couple things. First of all, good on you. Like the fact that you're actually exploring different ways to apply your background, I think is hot right now. I think that is very good because that's giving you a chance to be in line for different kinds of roles where if you were very narrow, you just wouldn't be able to apply to those roles. So I think that's excellent. I think the other thing you want to look at is when you think about this experience, applying for 50 jobs, I've been talking to a lot of seekers. It may take 100 jobs to get a legitimate interview. I mean, 100 applications. And so this idea of, I didn't hear you say I'm exhausted, but you said like you look at this string of all these applications. I think one of the things I'd suggest to you, keep going, right? So, when you have that uncertainty and you're not sure, keep pushing, right? You're not a deer in the woods in this case. I think you're driving, you're driving toward the opportunity. I like the way you're thinking about applying. I think you should just keep doing that. Just do more of it, right? And there's a lot of pressure for writing right now because AI can do some of this writing. And so how do you think about that in terms of becoming a prompt engineer? Could you reinvent even some of your descriptors, whether it's your summary or whether it's your roles, to say like, I basically was a prompt engineer, right? That's what I did as an editor. And as I was exploring, especially with being a web producer, I had to go and find that content, right? So those are my suggestions. I'm going to pull the mystery guest in. Any thoughts?
Yeah. Hi, Erin. Yeah, I appreciate how you're recognizing how your skills are transferable and the different types of roles you're going after. But I'm really curious, is there a common thread within all the roles that you're looking at? Something that would really excite you? Maybe it's a particular skill that you have or a particular value or um, an energy you want to feel about the organization. Like what's really drawing you to the roles that you're going after, and what would bring you a lot of joy if you were able to find that in your next role?
Okay, sure. That's a good question. I would say like my core, my baseline, is sort of like big nerd energy.
Love that.
So um, my tattoo here is a dolphin wrapped around an anchor.
Okay.
It's a printer's mark of Aldus Manutius. He was a printer. He invented the semicolon, which is my favorite punctuation mark.
Ah,
Also italics. One of my most recent other pieces is like, yay, you can't see. Basically, it's from my foot up to my knee, and it's like a tornado almost of punctuation marks in different rainbow colors.
Mm.
So that's sort of the energy where I'm coming from, and sort of what I want to sort of find where I land. Like I don't want editing and words in general to just be like a background thing in my job. I would still like editorial to be like important and key to what I do, even if like I ended up like managing or something.
mhm. Beautiful. I love that. And thank you for sharing the story of your tattoos with me. That's really cool.
Yeah, let's talk about ink a little bit. I think it's obviously important to you.
Yeah, I have a fair amount.
Yeah. When you're gonna get a new tattoo, Like, what's your criteria? You know, kind of what are your principles around getting a new tattoo?
Oh no, this feels like a trick. You sound like my mom.
Well, I know I am not that, but I think it's cool to think, okay, I'm going to go get a new tattoo. Do you just all of a sudden say, yeah, it's time for one? I got a spot.
Um, I think the problem is like once you get like more than two, then it's like popcorn.
Uh huh.
You broke the dam.
Uh huh. Now you have
And so,
two cats.
yeah, exactly. It's like
Does that
it's like you
principle
get one
follow?
cat. Well, it's like you have, oh, here comes Julio.
It's
You get one cat, and then you realize that he's kind of a demon, and you go to the shelter, and they say, you know what, we'll make him less of a demon if you
right,
adopt another cat.
right.
And because I'm an innocent, naive deer, I said, yes, I'll take home another cat.
Uh
And
huh.
so now I have two demons.
Uh huh.
So that's how that's working out.
So one of our teammates has a lot of tattoos. I don't have any. And we were together at a conference, and the person who was speaking had tattoos. And I said, is there a trust thing in that? If you see somebody with tattoos, like, is there a bond? Like, because I don't have any, is that like I have to work harder to bond?
Like you're too
Might be different.
conservative or like white bread.
I'm an unknown territory. I've never really
Not
had
the
this
cool kids.
conversation before, right?
No, for the record, my mom did not have any tattoos
Uh-huh.
until she turned 70,
Oh,
and
wow.
then she got another tattoo. She got a tattoo when I got this one.
Uh-huh.
It's not too late, Jeff.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
think
That's
about
what
it. Am I going to have am I going to have a Boomband tattoo or a BB like this? I don't know. Who
Team
knows? Right.
building. We'll all just go get Boomband tattoos.
Right.
It,
All right.
it goes back to redefining, right? We're playing with redefining. There you go.
Yeah. So
Erin, I have to know why the semicolon. Why is that your favorite?
Oh, okay. So actually, I originally got it tattooed on this wrist when I turned 18. Now it's a rose-breasted grosbeak. I really like birds. When I turned 18, I got a semicolon. My mom went with me. She was like holding my hand and like literally like it was like this big, right? It's like less than an inch.
yeah.
But I'm actually afraid of needles, which is incredible considering how many holes I have in my ears, and tattoos I have. But I'm actually afraid of needles. So my mom went with me and like held my hand because she's my mom. She's very sweet. And this nice man gave me a semicolon. And it's my favorite punctuation mark because I'm sure there's an actual like way to define its use. But the way I've always think of using it is sort of like you insert it in a sentence when you don't want to really finish the sentence. So it's like, but wait, there's more. That's like
Yeah.
that sort of punctuation.
Yeah.
So that's why it's my favorite.
It's funny, but you have like the M dash, which is like a big AI thing.
Classic.
Uh,
Also
uh,
classic.
But the semicolon is like if you're not a great writer, also it's like, okay, time for a semicolon. We're going for some more, right?
Kurt Vonnegut famously like thought semicolons were for people who like sniff their own farts. So like there's different opinions on semicolons. I get it. It's fine.
All right. I was going to say this is the time when we try to have a little fun in these 101s, but I think we're already having fun. I have a couple questions because there's got to be some fun in this. All right. My first question is, you're 10 years old. You're at the candy store. What
Okay.
is your favorite candy?
10 years old candy store. Starburst. 100 grand. Both? Can I have both? Look, I'm ambitious. I
You
want
do
both.
not have to select because they're so different that they're almost. Okay, now today, if you were just happen to be in line and they're there, would you get either of those candies, or do you have something else that's your favorite today?
Jeez.
Yeah, so you're skipping the Starburst, you're skipping the 100 grand. Talk to me
Yeah.
about this.
Mhm.
Is it Have you matured in your taste buds? What's happening?
I like really disgusting cheese. Just like the worst smelling cheese. Like the kind that where like other people actively like won't eat
Cut
it
it
on the
off
cheese
and throw
plate.
that part out.
Yeah, where like other people will like avoid it on the cheese plate, and I'm like, more for me, boys. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like I like the foulest cheese you can get.
Okay, so we could be great at a party together because I'd be on the brie and I'd be on the cheddar, and you'd be going right after the deep blue and
Oh yeah,
turn the
like the
corner into Neverland, and I would go to right. So most
absolute like.
cheeses actually spread nicely on the cracker because well,
Mhm.
okay. How about close your eyes and jet set to any one of the places where you've lived? Which place would it be and why?
Sweden.
Why?
Oh gosh, I don't have like especially good reason. I just really liked it there. Everyone
You
was
answered
like,
so fast too, like it was instant. You were like,
Yeah.
Sweden.
How old were you when you were there?
I was in fifth and sixth grade.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we didn't even live in like we didn't live in Stockholm, which is like the main,
Yep.
big city. We lived in Gothenburg, which is like down south. But the cool part about Sweden is it's super close to like Denmark and like a bunch of other stuff in Europe. So while we lived there, we got to travel. That was another cool thing about living abroad is so if you think about it, um, Taiwan was super close to like Bali, Malaysia, the Philippines, Japan, Hong Kong. Sweden was super close to Denmark, France, Germany,
Yeah.
relatively speaking. So like just by living there, we got to we
Yeah.
got to vacation in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
We got exposure to additional cultures because of that. Um, but I really liked Sweden um, because one of my brother's best friends, his great grandfather was like I want to say the first man of Chinese descent to open a Chinese restaurant in Gothenburg, and it was still like running when we lived there, and we would go there all the time, and it was still being run by his grandmother. And they were like the nicest people in the
That's
world.
so
And we
cool.
used to go there all the time. It was just very cool because it felt very like historical, like sort of like a living history thing. It's like still ongoing because like
Right.
its grandfather had come like pre 1900. Like it's crazy.
Wow. That's cool.
All right. Well, this is amazing. What we're gonna do is gonna have you pop back in. I think you're gonna
Okay.
tag Lisa. I think is that right?
Lisa, yes, I wrote it down.
And why don't you send her in, and we'll see you back in the main room. And thank you
Okay,
for being
cool.
on the
Be
show.
a sign.
Hey, Lisa.
Hi.
Welcome to the breakout. How you doing?
Welcome to Breakout.
I'm gonna get you. Yeah, that you're perfect.
Yep.
So like I say, I'm jealous of Madison because she gets to chat. It's interesting. You're a monster.
Yeah.
And so we were at a monster reunion the other night. I got a chance to say hi, and so it's great to see you again. Madison, do you want to share a little bit about Lisa's background?
Absolutely. And I know I was going to say, you might be jealous I get to pre-talk, but I'm jealous you got to meet her in person. So, you know. All right. Well, it was great chatting with you earlier this
Yeah.
week, Lisa. So this is kind of what I put together from our conversation.
Okay.
You are a strategic HR business partner who turns fast-growing, high-pressure environments into aligned, high-performing organizations. With 15 plus years supporting teams from 300 to 5,000, you scale systems, leaders, and culture with the precision of a business operator and the heart of a people champion. You drive measurable impact everywhere you go, boosting production, lifting engagement, strengthening pipelines, and slashing turnover through data-driven talent strategies, leadership developments, and operational partnerships. You're a trusted advisor who executives call when they're navigating growth, transformation, or in that make or break moment. Family is everything to you, and you channel that same care also into your side hustle as a photographer, where you capture stories through images and showcase other people's beautiful families. You were born in Kentucky in absolute pure chaos during one of the worst tornadoes in history. And ever since, you've been turning storms into stability. You have endurance, you have grit, and you have a rare ability to bounce back from anything, which really plays into that favorite quote that you shared earlier on the show. You're truly built for resilience. You bring that same strength to every organization you touch. When you show up, momentum shifts and business rises. Welcome to the breakout, Lisa. We're so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you, Madison. Man, we need a Madison in everybody's life to be able to
I
pull
know.
that stuff together.
That
It's
was
amazing.
phenomenal. I have to
know.
agree with that.
A couple of people said that if I could just have Madison come along to my interviews, that'd be good. So,
Like, just tag along, speak. Yeah, just let her speak.
were you literally born in a tornado?
There was one of Kentucky's worst tornadoes while my mom was in the hospital. I had been born, but all the moms had to come out into the hallway with their babies and kind of, shelter while this tornado was going through Lexington, Kentucky, 1974. So, yep.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yep.
Did Madison miss anything just as we're thinking about your experiences?
God, I feel like she said way more than I could have ever said. Yeah, I mean, she captured the photography piece, which we didn't even talk about. So I think it's amazing. No, I think she captured a lot.
I have my ways.
I know you are sneaky. No, I mean, she captured a lot. And, I think that what I've done with, different organizations and HR has been a lot about growth and growing through change and the dynamics of economies, et cetera. I've been through ups and downs. And so, no, I think she did a great job.
Right. A couple things. The term HR business partner, I think, may mean different things to different people. What does it mean to you?
Oh, yeah. In HR, even within the industry, it means so many different things. But to me, it means someone who is a true partner to a group that you're supporting, to help them achieve their goals through growth and change, through people issues, through development of their employees, really championing what they're trying to do to help grow their piece of the business, to make the business enterprise as a whole successful.
Yeah. So, can you give me the reality of what that is? Are you like responsible for like a big department, might have 600 employees or something, and then you do everything needed?
Well, from a business partner perspective, ideally, you're not doing the tactical piece. You have in a larger organization, you typically have HR services that is doing the tactical onboarding, payroll, benefits, et cetera. But and then you layer in, and you're starting to be that hub in the wheel where you're pulling together those COEs. You're pulling in talent development, talent acquisition. You're pulling in total rewards if you have compensation concerns. You're pulling in those resources to add in help to your organization where you may not specialize, where I'm more of a generalist and I understand the bigger picture, and I'm able to see the gaps that are there and say, oh, I know who can fill that gap. Let me pull them into this conversation so that they can add their expertise into the conversation.
Yeah. So let's get real here. I think HR is compressing a little bit right now. I think it's one of the areas I think that may be part of the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say, kind of in this interview process to really differentiate the way you tackle the problem and how important your role would be to an organization?
Yeah, I mean, I think that within HR, you have specialists, and I think that why I've always remained a generalist or business partner is because I know enough about everything to not be dangerous. But where I do specialize is understanding and reading people and situations. And so I think how I have to sell it is that I am able to look at the big picture and see where there are gaps and understand who or what needs to plug that gap or fill that gap. And that I'm going to be that person that is going to be at that 30,000 foot view to see, what you're trying to accomplish through these changes, and then kind of pull it down into the weeds and say, okay, here's what we need to do to accomplish that.
Yeah. Um, I think that's going to be a big question for you. I think, it's like, okay, we used to have 5 of these business partners,
Right.
and now we have 2, and one's
Right.
open. So how are you going to crush this? And it doesn't need to be an answer here, but I think
Right.
it needs to be a really well thought through answer in terms of like where that value is. I noticed in your background, you have 2 master's degrees.
Yes.
So professional student at some point here,
Yeah.
it seems like one's Bachelor of Science, one's
Yeah.
Bachelor of Arts.
Yeah.
Just talk to me about that.
So it's interesting is that, originally, before I ever started HR, I majored in family studies, studying I was going to be working in human and social services, working with children and families. And initially and early in my career, I did. But at my time at Monster, when I was doing some recruitment process managing, helping, I actually started training on the ATS system that was introduced, I think probably around 2002, started training businesses on that. I really started thinking I wanted to I didn't want to stay within human services. I really wanted to make that true transition into human resources. Even though during the Monster commercial, it says, when I grow up, I want to be an HR manager. Nobody in the world has ever grown up saying that ever in their life.
Right.
But I did make that transition. And in doing so, to make it at least more official, I went back and did the master's in human resources to at least give some credence to the fact that I didn't necessarily have the early career experience in HR. I at least had some academic knowledge and the people skills to make that transition. And so that's why I have that second master's.
Yeah, that's great. Does that get called out? Like, does that help you that you have a master's in human resources? Is that
At this point in my career, probably not. Earlier on, yes. Now I have a lot of experience in HR that I can call upon. Whereas earlier in my career, I could say, I'm, learning, I'm getting a master's, and that provided me some ins and ways that the experience did not necessarily.
Yeah. So I'm just enjoying. I'm looking at you in this frame here. Your sweater matches the leaves on your.
Well, actually, if you looked around my house, you would see a lot of orange. Yeah.
It's like, okay, like if you change sweaters, do you have to change the curtains?
Absolutely.
Real good. Sure.
It's very tiring, but I do it.
Yeah. So, how many jobs have you applied for?
Oh God, I actually pulled a report out of my Gmail folder that I pull every, email into after I apply to a job and after I get a response. I haven't fully synthesized it, but it's probably 600-700. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the market for 10 months.
Yep. So the reason why I asked is I sort of knew this, and I think there's more people in this situation than you realize.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that one of the things that I've been coaching is you're just getting warmed up. I talked to a woman that I really like that I would love to hire. We just don't have a job for her. She'd applied for 930 jobs.
Yeah.
300 jobs had turned her down like within an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Like, very fast. 300 jobs had gotten back to her and said, we'll get back to you, but never did.
Right.
And the 300 jobs, absolutely
Nothing. Silent.
Right. And so of that, there were 17 jobs where there was an inkling of an interview. Some of them were like robot questions.
Oh, yeah.
All of them were a screener, but not an interviewer. Ended up with 2 volunteer positions and 1 full-time job.
Wow.
So of 923, and did this over 15 weeks.
Wow.
And so this is an incredibly motivated person. So one of the things that I've shared is I think it takes 100 pretty targeted applications to get 1 interview.
Oh,
and I was
absolutely.
going to ask you if that feels about right.
That feels very consistent. I mean, the number, I've had some great interviews. I won't deny that. And I've definitely, gotten to later stages of the process. But the percentage of applications that have turned into interviews are extremely small.
Yeah.
extremely small. And the number of responses that I have not received at all is extremely high, like nothing,
So
not even
there's
an auto decline.
all right, there's a business partner future role
Right.
once you're in a job to say like,
Right.
okay, that is just not the way we're going to do business.
Absolutely.
Was talking to one company that had about 8,000 applications. And one of the challenges, they were a consumer oriented business. And they were saying all of these applicants are potential customers.
Yeah.
And so there's that idea. Do you look at a company differently because they ghost you completely?
Yeah.
And their version would be, we didn't ghost you.
Yeah.
Ghosting would be because we actually interviewed you and then didn't give you
True.
feedback or whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right. I'm going to go to the mystery guest. Lisa, thank you for just sharing. I think your story is the heartbeat of where we are right now,
Yeah.
and that idea of being resilient in the amount of applications you've done. And I'm proud of you. And I think that you just don't know. It only takes one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, last week when I got the decline on being the final of 2 candidates, I cried for a few minutes and I said, okay, it just wasn't meant to be. It's time to move on to the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mystery guest, come on in.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate what you're just saying there about letting yourself cry a little bit,
Mhm.
right? In this piece of being resilient, because I worked with so many people that think the resilience piece is just powering through it and not
Yeah.
acknowledging how they're feeling, and it actually makes it a lot more difficult to get through the process and be able to create what you want. First, I appreciate the curtains and the sweater call out and the humor around that. And I get a sense of you of someone who enjoys beauty. And but I'm really curious for all the roles that you're applying for, if you could create the role that you really, really want and kind of put that in the universe and find it, what would that look like for you?
If I was manifesting and it was going to come true, I would say that
You
it's.
are. You
Oh,
are.
yes,
man.
okay.
are,
I
but
am
it's
manifesting.
yours.
Yes. So hear me, universe. I would say that it is a role that is a business partner working for a mid to large size organization that has a mission behind it that I can fully support. I love having a mission that is the backbone of the organization that everybody's driving towards. It would be one that is supporting an organization through growth and transformation, but also a role that's autonomous, but also extremely collaborative in the sense that I get to work very collaboratively with my other business partners as well as the COEs. I really have always enjoyed my time working with the other COEs so that I can pull in their expertise, fill in the gaps of the things that, get to as far as I can with my business group and say, okay, now I need to pull in the expert. I've always enjoyed those opportunities. And then ultimately, I would love an organization that has growth opportunity that, allows me to maybe transition into talent development, talent management type of role. I've always said I've never specialized, but if I were, it would be into that type of role.
Yeah.
Love
That's
that.
great. COE, for those that don't know.
Yes. Centers of excellence, meaning your total rewards, compensation, benefits, talent acquisition, talent management, those different parts of HR that specialize in the different pieces of the HR puzzle.
Great. All right. The other night when I saw Lisa, she said, I don't know what your questions are going to be for me. All right. I have two. They're fun. So the first one is, okay, you have the Midas touch.
Okay.
So anything you touch will turn into what you want it to turn into, but it
Okay.
can't be money.
Okay.
What are you going to turn things into?
Airport points, airline points to let me travel. Does that work?
Kind of a loophole there, though.
Does that work?
I love it.
So is that a secret wish? If you
Yeah.
travel the
I've
world?
not been able to travel for a while. I am like desperate for like a true vacation. Like even if it was just enough points to do like a really, really fantastic vacation, that would be enough. No, I would love to be able to travel, as my children are now older. I've now, my youngest is 17, and I no longer have caregiving responsibilities for my mom.
Right.
I really would love to be able to have that opportunity. So that would definitely be one thing. Other than that, it would be like if that's not the loophole, if I can't use that loophole, then it would probably be just, greatness for the world. I mean, we're just so chaotic and
Wow.
crazy right
A
now. I
little
would just love
greatness
more
here, a little
peace.
greatness
Yeah,
there.
exactly, exactly. I would love to have more peace and grace for the world.
Right. All right. I got one more. It's kind of fun.
Okay, okay,
Um, of all the Lisas in history,
okay.
who's your favorite Lisa?
Oh gosh. It won't be Lisa in the Cult Jam. Um, let's see. Maybe Mona Lisa. She's like a little mysterious. No one really knows exactly what she's if her face is smiling or smirking or what she's looking at.
But she is looking at you.
She is looking at you, and she's revered, and people find her very special.
Awesome. I saw this question. I was like, okay, that's a good Lisa question, I think. So, and I was like, Mona Lisa. And I was like, well, is her name Mona or Lisa? That was actually what went through my head. So that's fun. All right. So you're going to go back. You're going to drag out Amy.
Yes.
And thank you for, being in our breakout room.
Thank you.
I want to give you good speed.
Thank you.
I love your resilience. I think we're ready to get you that job. So.
Thank you so much. It's been
Back
fun.
to you, studio.
Hi.
Hey, Amy, welcome to the breakout.
Thank
How you
you.
doing?
Thank you.
All right, so this is the way this works. Madison is going to share your background, and then I'm going to come to you and say, what did you miss? So as you puff up, through this process, we'll have some fun with it. So Madison, take it away.
Well, Amy, it was so awesome getting to chat with you this week. So this is kind of what I put together. You are a data-driven force of nature who elevates how organizations think, operate, and make decisions. You build and lead analytics teams that turn complex information into clear, actionable, reliable intelligence. From launching self-service dashboards to automating reporting and modernizing entire analytic ecosystems, you've designed systems that scale and insights that actually move the business. Your career spans analytic leadership, customer success intelligence, product strategy, and business analytics, always centered on measurable impact and empowering cross-functional teams. As you mentioned earlier as well, you're always committed to leveling up. You've earned your MBA. You completed an AI-powered Women in Leadership certification this past September. In October, you just earned your Fabric Analyst certification. And now you're currently pursuing a digital marketing course. Outside of work, you're a proud mom and wife, a traveler with stories from all around the world, including horseback riding through Iceland and yoga retreats in Costa Rica. And you're a passionate animal rescue volunteer who fosters doggies in need on the weekends. Your drive, your grit, your positivity are truly contagious. You turn data into direction, teams into engines, and businesses into smarter, sharper versions of themselves. It was a pleasure getting to know you. I'm excited to dig in more. Welcome to the breakout room.
Wow, Madison, thank you so much. That was amazing. I'm going to have to go back to this recording and write some of that down. That was great. Now you covered so much of my background and my history, and there is a lot of history there. And the only thing that I can think of is just, I did start in data analytics since the beginning, and just something that I do love. And it was a little bit of a pivot in the middle of my career, was really focusing more on having one-on-one conversations with clients and customers, and in being able to be the voice of the data and be able to share what those insights are, share the good and the bad, and help them make changes. So just being client facing has been something that I've enjoyed as well. But thank you.
Yeah. Let's take that journey around. You were a biology major, and how did that switch happen?
Yeah. So I was a biology major and a poor college student, and started working for a company part-time. They were paying a really great hourly rate, and started working with financial data, and started doing some analytics there, and then moved into HR, and then fell into reporting from there. So it was a switch. But then to take it to the next level, when I started applying and interviewing for roles, they would ask me, well, you're a biology major, this is financial, or this is reporting, or this is XYZ. What are the transferable skills? And it's really in biology, when you're doing analysis or research, you have to start with a hypothesis, as you would as you start doing data analytics, and then research that hypothesis, which transfers, and then defend it. So I was able to transfer the biology skills to corporate.
Tell me, how long have you been out of work?
It's been a little, it's almost been 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty fresh.
I thought you're fairly early in this process. I see some motivations already kind of coming out where you're taking these different certification classes. Just talk me through, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are out of work that are exhausting themselves applying for a handful of jobs every week and then just kind of feeling like things are not going their way. I see you taking a different path. Can you share your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I was starting to get down that path, and it can make you very, very sad very quickly. And I just noticed, well, one of the courses I took was how to use Notion. So I created a little database, and I'm tracking everything I apply to when I apply, and I'm not getting anything back. And I was getting very sad about it. And then I realized that other people were getting positions because of their network. So I started relying more on my network. But I'm new in Charleston, so I'm like, I need to build a new support system and a new network. So reached out to the chamber, went online, tried to find any groups, any social groups that got together. So went to Women in Technology, went to Disrupt HR, and just very interesting how there's so many of the same people that go to all these events, and starting to network and meet some pretty amazing, intelligent people. So it's been helpful.
Yeah, do you think the networking is something that you naturally do, or do you think it's something that you teach yourself? Tell us about that, because I think people are generally not, they're nervous about going to a place where they don't know anybody. There's this idea that maybe I could go with someone, but if you don't have somebody to go with, and just talk us through that, because I think others will listen here.
I'd be happy to. I'll be completely transparent. The first event that I went to, I went by myself, and I was texting my partner and my friend. I'm like, I am sitting in this big room, and everybody seems to know everybody, and I don't know anybody. But I'm here to mingle. And I looked at the agenda and it said mingling was for the first 45 minutes before it started. I'm like, oh no. We're supposed to be mingling. But I ended up meeting a few people, just walking around, grabbed a drink, tried to see if there was anybody that wasn't in a group. And then when I was sitting in my seat, someone sat behind me, and I just turned to her and I said, are you also, what did I say? I'm like, I think we're the only two people in this room that don't know everybody. But she actually had just returned to the area, and she did know a lot of people there. She's also in the Women in Technology group. So we had a great conversation. So it is uncomfortable, but I think a lot of people feel that way, and everyone's there for the same reason. They're there to meet people. They're there to expand their network. So I think trying to think of some icebreakers would be a great way to go in. I didn't do that, but I will do that in the future.
Have you followed up with that person?
I have. They're having a holiday mixer in December, so I'm going to be going to that as well.
Great.
I love
So
that.
like one of the things I see is that you might even meet someone, but you forgot to ask their name, or you remembered that they worked at Dell, but you don't know where. And so you come away saying, oh, okay, that was a good networking event. I met a really nice person, but I have no idea where they are. And so you're kind of asking those important questions. Hey, could I call you? Could I add you to my network? I'm not great with LinkedIn. Could I get your phone number or something, just so I have some context? Or I have a business card, right? I've got
I was
one
going
right
to
here.
say, yeah.
And I think every job seeker should make business cards, because I think it's the first thing, give to get. So you say, here's my card. And then, do you have one? And a lot of people have them, but they're like in their purse, or, they're kind of hidden from view. And by giving, you get an opportunity to say, if you have one, or could you send me your information? And I think that's good. One other thing, when you go to networking groups, a lot of times you go with someone and you go in, you stand at the bar together, you sit right next to them and talk to them during the sessions. You go to the restroom at the same time. You end up in the parking lot after the event saying, oh, that was so good. So much fun. We'll do this again. But you never actually met anybody outside of the safety net, sort of like you're texting with your partner or whatever, right? At the moment, where you really need to be the most outgoing. And even as an introvert, we all have extroverted moments. I need to make sure I'm an extrovert. So I can't always talk for others, but even as an introvert, it's important to have these extroverted moments where you can reach out. Mr. Guest, I'm gonna pull you in.
Yeah, what was coming up for me, Amy, when you were talking was feeling like you have this great kind of growth mindset, right? That you're like, I don't know about these networking things, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start talking to someone. And I wholeheartedly agree with everything Jeff said, and also the step of asking for help. I think that's one where I find myself sometimes forgetting, and I see with other people when we're in those situations when we do the follow up to even put ourselves out there to say, hey, is there some way I can help you, some way you can help me? And often that's where we make these connections. Somebody knows somebody that can help us create the trajectory to get in front of the right person at the right time. I'm curious, is there something that you've found to be really energizing in the way that you're doing your networking, or the way that you're doing your outreach to find this next role right now for you?
I find that it's definitely more positive to be able to reach out to some of the new connections that I've made. Um, just being able to have conversations with them to learn about what they're doing in their careers. And you're right, I have had some conversations where they're like, well, I don't have any positions open, but I do know somebody that's hiring for XYZ, and they had reached out to us. So maybe that would be a good fit for you. So
Yeah,
it feels like
great.
it's snowballing in a way. And also, I didn't mention this, but some of the people that presented, I found their presentations amazing. So I reached out to them after the session and have actually had some conversations with them as well. But yeah, I feel like it's just better for me to be able to have these conversations, whether it's over coffee or whether it's a Zoom chat, instead of applying and putting my resume out into a black hole where I don't know if it's even being seen.
Yeah, keep doing that, right? And maybe it's a little bit of everything, but that part that gives you the energy to keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I think the networking can be really, really effective.
Yeah.
Thank
I,
you.
there's that thing as an entrepreneur, are you born with it, or do you learn it in the process? And I think networking is the same. Some people are like, oh, that person's born networker. My wife always says, there you go, running for governor again. I'm always talking to people, right? And if it's not, doesn't come as naturally to you, it doesn't mean you get to get out of jail free and you don't do it, right? Especially if you're in your job search process, you really need to activate your network, and you can do that in lots of different ways, but you need to do it. A lot of people have a hard time starting. I want to have a little fun with you.
Okay.
I've got a couple questions I ask everybody, and it's just a chance to have some fun. And so I want to Muppets or Sesame Street is the first part of the question.
Oh man, I loved both, but Muppets, 100%.
Okay, there's more.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to go on holiday with one of the Muppets. Which one are you going to go on holiday with?
Oh man. Oh my God, with Muppets. It's got to be Miss Piggy. I think she'd be a blast. Would she not?
So, so imagine you could take Miss Piggy to your next HR networking event.
Oh boy. Yeah.
All right, I've got one more. So you've tripped and fallen, let's say out on the street, and somebody reaches their hand to help you up, and it's a celebrity. What or which celebrity would you like it to be?
Oh my goodness. Which celebrity would I want it to be? I'm terrible with celebrity names, so Um,
I'm okay if you say, who would you like to be the one that picks you up, as long as it's not your husband or
I feel like it'd be whoever played Thor because they could just like put me right up.
Strong.
Yeah.
you're gonna go with the strength of getting
Yeah,
you back up
strength.
quick. Awesome. I'm interested. What message do you have for other job seekers that would kind of inspire them based on your experience to either keep going or to ask the right questions, or please share your thoughts.
Yeah, we were just talking in our own little breakout session.
Yes, I like that.
And I feel we're all in different points in our search, and they were talking about how far they've gotten, but didn't land the role. But I was so impressed by that because I haven't gotten to that point yet. And for me, with just so many people looking right now and how difficult it is, even to get an interview scheduled, I think is a win. You're starting with so many people trying to get the job, to get the interview, I think is a win. But for them to get that far is amazing. And it just means that it's only a matter of time and they're going to find the right position for them. But I think also just what we were talking about, just kind of expand your network, try to meet some people face to face. I think I'll go with that.
Yeah, great. All right, well, let's go back to the main room.
Okay.
Amy, thank you for being a guest in the breakout. You were great. And we're gonna bring Thor to help you get through this job search process.
We'll see you back in the main room.
All right, welcome back to the showcase. That wasn't bad, yeah.
You did it.
I heard there were some conversations going on in the main room while we were in the breakouts. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Right. Well, one of the things we found is that all of our guests end up sort of rooting for each other, and there's been a lot of questions that come into us. How are my other guests doing? Are they finding a job? And so we'll make sure we have a connection for you guys. I want to bring our mystery guest in. You're welcome to come on camera. And
welcome, mystery guest.
Hi, everyone.
So
The
Matt,
face behind the voice.
Yeah, do you want to kind of introduce Nicole? And
Absolutely. So first off, welcome. Thank you for being our mystery guest. So everyone, this is Nicole Bliss. She is an executive coach, facilitator, and the founder of Lead with Bliss, which is a leadership coaching firm based in the Boston area. She helps high-performing executives become courageous, high-impact leaders. Nicole's work centers on context rather than content. She guides leaders to become aware of the unconscious ego, fixations, and emotional patterns that shape their behavior, to step out of victimhood and to create a space that they can listen to their inner wisdom. Clients describe Nicole as grounded, intuitive, and able to create a compassionate space where real insight and transformation can occur. Nicole's also the creator of Deep Rest and Reset, a leadership and wellness retreat for women on Cape Cod that invites leaders to pause, restore, and return to themselves. She does live outside of Boston with her family, and she's devoted to bringing more presence, purpose, and humanity into the way that we lead. We're very lucky to have you with us today, Nicole, and thanks for being a part of the showcase.
Thanks, Madison. Thank you all for having me. This has been fun.
Yeah, you've been great. You've been jumping right in. Some of the mystery guests, it's like, hello, come on, join me right here. It's been great. One of the things I read in your background was that you help people work through limiting beliefs. Can you talk about that, and maybe in a context of talk a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so you can think about limiting beliefs as these old kind of protective stories that our subconscious has created to actually keep us safe. But these are things that have developed in our childhood, and now as we're becoming adults, if we don't take the time and space to kind of check in on those stories, it can often limit us from trying different things. So in the context that we're talking about today, with maybe trying a new role, going into a networking meeting, applying for a role that you don't quite think you're the right fit for. So there's all these things that can actually stop us from doing something that we might want to take a try at. So I really support leaders to take a step back and look at what their patterns are that stop them from trying something that actually more aligns with who they are on the inside.
Yeah, that's great. What do you typically work with executives? How do you get your clients? Are you working with corporations? Do
Yeah.
private clients pay you? How's that work?
Both. So sometimes I'm hired in by corporations, sometimes I'm hired in by the individual. I work with a lot of leaders, so startup founders, executive level leaders, really anyone who wants to take more responsibility for how they're showing up in the world. Those are my people.
Great, great. So one of the things that Nicole's offered is that she'll spend a half an hour with each of you offline. And one of the cool things about this process is she's got a primer, right? She's kind of listened to your stories and, kind of Madison's synthesis of your backgrounds. And so I want to invite her, if she has any final thoughts with each of you, to kind of pull in now, and then we'll wrap things up.
Great. Amy, keep going with the networking. And everything that you're doing to try learning new things. I loved that. So the more that you're doing to just check in and notice what you really want to do versus maybe the voice that's telling you I should do this, I have to do this. See what the ones are that are really lighting you up. And go after those. Erin, it was so fun to learn about you. I had a curiosity too around the sense that you're an adventurer, right? The how you lit up when you were talking about your travels, and curiosity around how you could bring that more into your job search and to do it in a way that really helps the people that you're interviewing with you really understand you even more. Because there was just such a bright light when you were talking about that aspect of your personality. Yeah, I love that. And then Lisa, I just felt like you had such a wealth of knowledge. There's so much that you can bring to an organization. So wanting to see you bring more of that combination of the expertise you can bring, but also with that real collaborative spirit that I heard you say that you're looking for. So how else could you help corporations see the value you could bring by combining the expertise and your love of really collaborating with other people?
Great. Well, I wanted to compliment Madison. I think this was one of her best episodes. I think each of you was like, okay, just keep talking about me. That's like perfect. And I think that was really great. I think
we need a Madison for Madison.
Yeah.
Who's going to do my bio?
That's right. We and Madison's like a key employee for me and with me, and we've been carving a lot of creative and innovative things as we've been setting up Boomband. It's been fun. And so I look at each of you. I think Erin, the uncertainty balanced with the cat herding, we just got to get you in a situation where you can do that. I got to meet one of your cats. I think, like you can bring your personality. I think that's great. I think Lisa, the soul dynamics, I think we were talking about, which I think was cool. I like what Nicole said about just that depth of experience. I really liked our HR business partner conversation. I think others will like that too. I can bend without breaking. I think that's such a great kind of motto for all of us to have in the job search process. And I think, Amy, the highs and the lows, the kind of redefining yourself and being a translator, and think about all the new certifications you're getting right now and how you're going to translate those into power, both in your job search, but also in your future job. I want to thank all of you for being on this show. The whole idea of this is to be human. There were some funny moments in each of your interviews, and this is the Boomband Showcase. And I just want to thank all of you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So much fun.
So great getting to meet you all.
All right, what a great show. I love hearing the stories. I like getting human. Get out from behind that resume and meet our players. If you're interested in any of them, email us at showcase@boomband.com. And give me a sign that you love your life. Come see us next week.
Give your love.